Welcome to the Grow Bridge. I'm your host, Ivo-Castillo, here in Miami. This podcast is for entrepreneurs and leaders with strong ties in Latin America who want to understand how Anglo founders think about growth, leadership, and decision making, and how to apply their mindset into your own business. Today, I'm excited to have Savon Kuram. He's the founder of Advocate Marketers. Hello, Savon. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Really excited to be here and speaking with you today.
Savan, to give us an audience a context, where you base and from where you operate?
Yeah, so great question. I am currently based out of Pakistan, and most of our customers are based all over the world, but mostly in the US, United States. We're trying to expand into other realms and other countries as well. The Middle East, primarily. We have customers in Australia. We've had customers in Australia, in the UK. It's pretty much all over. But yeah, our home base is
And tell me, what is the what is Advocate Marketers?
great question. So, Advocate Marketers is a firm where I would like to say it's a boutique, bespoke marketing agency. It's not like most of the marketing firms out there. I think the way the strategies that we can build are very customized to the needs of our customers. They're not run of the mill. They're not off the shelf services. They're very catered towards making sure that they can result in the ROI and efforts that those customers deserve. We basically understand what our customers have to offer and try to get that or deliver that in any shape or form in terms of an ROI for our customers.
And what are the specific services that you do?
Sure. That's another excellent question. So initially, I think it's more about GTM. So we're very, very good at creating strategies through go-to-market strategies. So initially, that was the focus, but then we started focusing a lot on execution as well. So we have a very nice design team, an animation team, content, social media, email marketing, so all sorts of digital marketing, paid ads, even a bit of app store optimization, so ASO, SEO, GEO. So a lot of different kinds of anything that can actually put our customers' product and services in front of a digital audience. That's kind of what we're experts at.
And Savan, to give some context, what led you get into marketing and work in the service businesses?
Interesting. I think it was mostly because I'm by education, which is not something usually you would find in this industry. I'm an engineer by education, but what I'm an industrial engineer, and what we used to learn a lot was how to improve systems that already exist. How can we improve on what's not functioning or what's not working, right? Most businesses in their
Mhm.
core essence are just business development because you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have sales, it doesn't work, right? If you can market yourself in the right manner, it doesn't matter if your product's better than the competition. So I realized a core problem or core pain point for most of these businesses was how to market themselves. So I started learning, I started improving myself on how we can sort of create that impact for our customers. And that's how I started getting into it. First of all, at first instance, it was more of understanding the pain points most of our customers face. And then it was all about understanding how we can address those pain points and create create actual value from it. So initially it was just understanding operations, understanding those pain points, and then understanding how I can be the one addressing those pain points. So getting experience. A lot of it came through my time in sales. I've business development for roughly 12 years at this point. So I consider myself a bit of an expert.
Yes. And between you talking about growth, you're talking about go to markets and execution. What is the most business struggling with? Is to have the
Between
strategy or to apply the right execution to that strategy?
That's a good question. I think what most businesses fail at is when they're not able to execute in the right manner, right? But a lot of that execution comes from how you planned properly. So our GTM strategy, or at least the GTM strategy we've implemented at Advocate, comes from understanding the landscape of the market that these customers are in, how we can how we can create their unique selling point, value proposition, how we can position them in the right manner, and then go from there. Because a lot of the planning, if the planning is not good, you can be the best at execution, But if you don't have a plan of how to execute, you're going to fail at it. So that's, I think, what's most important for us.
And in marketing wise, what are the biggest challenges that the business are facing today?
That's a great question. I think when I'll go back step back, I think when the internet came, it opened up this huge avenue where people were like, oh, now I could reach out to potential customers across the border, across the city, across the country, that. And now with AI being here, the difference is what you used to do in a day or 2 days, now you're sort of minimizing those tasks and you could do that in an hour. So the client's expectations of the work has changed as well. Previously, you used to get clients, they would understand, hey, even like something as simple as creating a website used to take us like a day or two, maybe couple of weeks of effort because you need to understand the brand. And there is still a niche for that understanding, but a lot of clients come with these preset expectations because they've seen how AI is cut through all of this administrative tasks or cut through all of the tasks the time it takes to build something like that. So those lofty expectations need to be addressed with making sure, while yes, you could deliver at that speed, but also deliver good quality work at that speed. So that's, I think, one thing that's becoming a challenge for marketeers, for people in sales, for people in business development to understand how you can address those expectations of customers by making sure that you're still delivering the quality work that you want to deliver.
And that is so challenging, right?
Sorry?
That is being challenging.
It is. It is. The reason for I think that obviously the thing is how quickly AI has been moving. Every day you see something new, every day something different comes up. I think I remember, so for instance, we used to have Hugging Face, which is bringing this image creation. And I still thought image creation was a little bit far off for AI last year.
Yeah.
Blurred faces, you could
Yeah.
check, or you could tell what the AI image and what is a, actually designed image, or what's a photograph versus an AI image. That difference of the uncanny valley has reduced even further. Yeah. So that's where the designers and the animators and the content creators, that's their challenge. They have to fight through this huge influx of content that is already available or accessible to your clients. But how do you differ? How do you be better? How do you still make that quality happen without minimizing on the time and scale of what you can produce? That's very important.
That come with these questions. Where does AI create leverage and where does it create noise?
Yeah, that's a
I
good
mean,
question.
I meaning in your business, when a client, and I bet you have these situations where the client wants to, okay, I want to put AI into my systems, into my campaigns, into my things, and but they don't know what is the problem they want to solve, and that's my question refers to that.
I
Where
mean,
the AI create leverage actually for
uh-huh.
you and your client,
Mhm.
and where it does create noise that is just one more thing to have to like
Worry about.
compete. Yeah, and worry about like, oh my God, I have to explain this because they don't understand. They just want it because it's at the trend.
Think about it this way. So AI, leverage in AI comes from the fact that what used to take us, like if I remember when we used to do GTM in the olden days, you would say that what research used to take us a couple of days takes us an hour at max. So that's the leverage, that is the leverage. But the expectation is also now similar. The expectation now is similar. People know that this is going to take it's going to take an hour. People know it's going to take less than a couple of days, right? So that is also the windfall. That is also the problem. So now you have to now make sure you're going to get the work delivered in a shortened period of time because the customer's expectations have become lofty as well. So while yes, there is a leverage, we have that assistance in research and development and all that. Things like even when it comes to design, even in, for marketing, I think a very important thing is design. AI, only AI when it acts as a layer on the tools that you currently use, then it's very being beneficial. Fully reliant on AI is never going to help us,
Yeah.
at least in the marketing. I think that's one thing that people need to stop. Marketeers, wherever they are, and especially, I think you mentioned Latin America. I think in this part of the world, in Latin America, we used to stand out in terms of people used to come to this part of the world and they used to take cost. The cost was always a thing. Cost optimization was always a thing. with AI, they expect that costs is going to be further reduced. So how do you stand out? You stand out by saying, I can use AI more efficiently than you're using AI.
Yeah.
That's the same thing because AI, over reliance on AI is going to reduce cognitive abilities everywhere. So that's always going to be a concern. But how you use AI and become more efficient is what's going to make you stand out. You'll still have, what you can do is you can still charge the reduced cost, but you can still get better margins out of it. So instead of what used to take you 2 days of effort, it's going to take you an hour of effort, and you'll be able to produce better results.
That's right.
Those are the key. I think that's the key thing as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. You need to, at the back of your mind, you need to be thinking about, hey, how can I ensure that I get the best results for my customers without compromising on quality, but also making sure that I'm competitive in a saturated market.
Correct. It's more, I think, in my opinion, is the strategy is what make your AI efforts valuable. How to resolve problems for your business instead how instead of the outcome itself.
Yeah. Think about not just because now that you have AI that you're just going to generate so much and just create output. How do you solve problems? How do you minimize your pain?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do instead of like focusing so much on how can I actually how can I run away from quality work and just generate like hundreds that I used to do or animations of what I used to do quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah.
don't do that. So that's one thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, this is my point. In order to getting more involved to your business, how do you market yourself? How do you market advocate marketers? What did you do?
Are you asking in general or like does the brand try to position itself?
What is your approach? What is your approach to market your own company?
That's a good question. I think it's so for us, we like to think of ourselves when I said we operate in a niche, right? So initially it was just broad outreach. People we're trying to outreach, we're trying to create a relation, we're trying to reach out through a referral network, we try to reach out to people who were like-minded, who were interested in the services we offer. That's initially how we started. Now it's been more broad spectrum, where we just putting the message out there, hey, this is what we can do, like validation of the efforts that we've already put in our customers. Let those results speak for yourself. Like that's your brand, right? You need some sort of validation out there. Let people see that validation and let that result speak for yourself. Let that result be your best marketing tool. And then obviously general outbound, general outreach also helps. I think if you want to get customers globally, what you need to do is you need to get your hands dirty, try to reach out to people, try to create relationships, right? If I want your business, Ivo, I'm going to have to reach out to you. I'm going to talk to you and say, hey, what are you doing these days? What are the problems you're facing? Like try to get an understanding of how we can help, right? That's kind of the experience I have. So that's
Correct.
kind of, if you can't understand the signals or hear the signals from the market, that's not really gonna help you out because that's usually the problems I see people facing. They're just too scared to go out there. And honestly, as I like to say this thing, like they're just too scared to hear and know. Every now and then I have gotten so used to it that I'm a little less ashamed at this point. I'm okay with people coming to my face and saying, hey, this is not something we need, this is not something we're interested in, but how can we help? Tell me. So I'm just interested in that. So that's my thing. Like, okay, how can we help? Is there something that's bothering you? What can we do to help you out? It's as simple as that.
Correct. Is there any part of the workflow or are you using any AI tools to automate your operations or your
Yes.
marketing?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll give you a very simple example. But one of the things that we used to do a lot of times was reach out over LinkedIn to people. It was a manual process. LinkedIn has grown as a social network. It used to be very simple, very straightforward. People could reach out, you know, and there's not a lot of checks and balances. So they have now a lot of checks and balances in place. What we have now, we have these tools that are that use AI to make sure that the checks and balances are in place, but they also help automate the process of reaching out to people, engaging with people, and making sure that they can get responses, right? So that's kind of one of the I think the best examples that come to mind. That's instead of having one person constantly monitor LinkedIn and get a response, you got this tool that's already doing the job for you. So I don't have to get through the hassle. If I get a response, I'll jump on. That's okay. Another good example of AI helping you out. I think a very good example is these LLMs, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and all those things. They're able to produce really good content. But you can tell when AI writes and when a normal person writes, right? So instead of doing the research and really honing in, you give it a good prompt, it will produce good content, and then you can improve upon it. That's where I think the time minimization comes in. And the third, I think one of the things that really helped me out is I used to have a business analyst for these tasks. I don't have a business analyst now. I'm not saying let go of your business analyst, but that's something we used to employ a lot more. We used, I think Gemini integrated with a lot of the Google Sheets, a lot of the data tools that we use has minimized the time it takes to parse through data. So just data analysis itself has become easier. I'm not an expert at data analysis, but I know that if I'm giving raw sets of data, I can ask something like an LLM and provide it good concrete answers off of it, right? So that's something that's, I think, maybe a year back, it would have stumbled me or made it create like a roadblock.
Yeah.
Now there's no excuse. I think we, as someone who as people in, I think the markets that we face, we're in a lot of pressure. We're a lot of saturation, right? So we need to be smarter than whatever's out there. We need to get ahead of the curve. So if someone's thinking about using LLMs today, you get ahead of the curve and start thinking about how you can integrate LLMs in the current workflow that I'm making. Always try to think ahead. If you can minimize the time it takes to do certain tasks, try to do that. Even if you can reduce seconds, they have a snowball effect. You end
Correct.
up saving days of effort. But that's kind of my belief.
And in order to grow for you
Mhm, mhm.
as a business, what is limiting to you to grow faster, for example, as entrepreneur?
I think generally it has got to be as an entrepreneur, the only thing that limits you is your own attentiveness, I would say. If that's the correct term. Like your own ability to focus 100% on what you're doing. You need to eat, sleep, and repeat on whatever your work is, right? Treat it like a baby, that you nurture it, you help it grow, you make it stronger, right? And if that can't happen, then I think it's time that you need to find a better, you need to be more passionate about it. You need to find a better passion.
Okay.
You can't love something and then not, not grow with it, right? If you love something, you want it to grow. If you love something, you want it to expand. How it works with business. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs get burned out because they spend like 4 or 5 years or 3 years and they didn't see much returns. I don't think that's how businesses work. Businesses are slow. They take time. You want faster growth to give it more effort. Returns will come. I don't think there's any business on the planet where you give it 100% and returns don't come. The only problem is you need to strategize and think what the other person is doing and how you could improve it. There's businesses that are doing it better than you. Look at them, copy all the things that they're doing well. Don't make the same mistakes they're doing. That's the simplest blueprint that I can think for success. Take a look what others are doing successfully, copy that, but don't repeat the mistakes that they're doing and improve it. Put your own stamp on it and improve upon it.
And to your answer, my question is, what mistake have you made to our audience? Doesn't repeat.
That is a good question. I think that one of the well, it's a mistake. I don't think a lot of people will make because if you're a solo entrepreneur or if you're a young man or if you're a young person who's starting a business, I think they obviously need stability. They obviously need money, and businesses don't give you that kind of return early on. So you expect that you can have a job, you can maybe do a couple of things at the same time, and also focused on your business. I
Mhm.
think that was a mistake that we did. I always expect I did a job as well as still was working a business, and that kind of expectation doesn't help because you really, really want to improve your business. You want to improve, you want to give your 100%. So that is, I think, a mistake. Always give it 100%, always be available. That's when it helps.
And just two more questions. One,
Yeah.
if you have a magic wand to solve anything in your business, what it will be?
I mean, obviously, I think if anything, I was trying to solve anything, I would probably make it more. I think sometimes we operate in silos, which slows down some of the processes. I think if I had a magic wand, I would make everyone as efficient as possible and everyone as communicative as possible. So they're solving tasks instead of waiting for someone to respond, instead of not reaching out to that person, etc. Be more cohesive as a unit is kind of what the thought process is for me, myself.
And what advice would you give to any founder that feels stuck right now?
My advice to any founder stuck right now is to pause, look at what's happening around. Is there a reason why you're stuck? Look at the competition, look at the market that you're in. Is there something that's working for others that's not working for you? Always be ready to accept that you made a mistake and then pivot. As long as you're able to criticize yourself, stop and accept that you are able to make a mistake, you're not perfect, then only will you be able to move forward from a run. Be able to criticize yourself, be able to accept the criticism that you can make. I know for a fact that I've made several mistakes, that I could have done several things better. As an entrepreneur, I think that is a key thing to take ownership. You're already taking initiative by being an entrepreneur, but take
Yeah.
ownership as well. Take ownership and drive towards an actual successful thing, right? If you want something to happen, you're the only one that can make it happen. But step back and see, criticize yourself and really understand why that criticism matters. I think that's my advice for an early stage entrepreneur.
And for last question, our last question is, what is your mindset? What is that makes you wake up every day and say, hey, let's do this?
Oh, it's very selfish, easy, simple. I want to make money and make my customers money. Simple as that. I'm in the business. I'm in the simple business of developing market. I'm in this marketing and sales business, right? It's all about money, bringing customers more funds, making sure their revenue comes in. If they get paid, I get paid. That's how it is. It's a mutually beneficial partnership for me. That's when I get up in the morning, I'm glad to see these guys are making, my customers are making a lot of money. And if they make some money, I benefit.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you, people. Thank you, people, for watching the podcast. See you next time.